This is Alice Wilcox, my oldest friend. I'm just going to set a little bit of audio playing. If you guys could just be quiet, and Alice will enter the stage in her own time. Hello?
Hiya, I've just got a really quick question for you.
Sure.
Do you think I'm autistic?
Wouldn't say you are autistic, just really odd.
Okay. That was all, thanks.
Okay, bye.
Hello. I'm just really odd. My actual name is Alice, for those of you who haven't had the pleasure. It's lovely to make all of your acquaintances. I started seeing a therapist at the beginning of lockdown. It was her who first suggested I might be autistic. In fact, her exact words were, "Has anyone ever told you you're autistic before?" A little bit accusatory towards, if you ask me. I dismissed the idea, to which she responded by politely asking if we could leave it on the metaphorical table to revisit at a later date. I got a distinct sense that this table was going to become a veritable smorgasbord of unappealing trauma appetizers and emotionally triggering vol au-vents. On reflection, however, I did realise that yes, actually the running joke in my family was that I was autistic. My sister would later inform me this had never been a joke. Thanks, Hazel. So with a touch of trepidation, I picked up the autism aperitif from the table and called the friend who'd known me the longest. Not wholly convinced by Tom's reassurance that I was just really odd, which I consider to be a bold statement coming from him, I approached some other close friends and expanded my market research. I have to say that how that explains so much was said with more than a twinge of slight relief. My ex also said something that I thought was quite profound. He said, "I can see you searching for the correct Excel spreadsheet in your head." I was genuinely taken aback because it was such an accurate description of my brain. It is one enormous spreadsheet with hundreds of different tabs. With hundreds of different tabs containing a cheat sheet or a life hack, if you will, for different scenarios. Here's a few examples for you. There you go. And just like Excel, I can experience loading issues. I began to wonder what other neurodiverse life hacks I might be using. It didn't take much reflection for me to identify there are a lot. Far too many for me to share all of them now, so I'm going to just cover two for you. First one, mimicking, particularly facial expressions and gestures. A lot of my friends are really extroverted and outgoing, great for mimicking. This became very evident during lockdown, which I loved, by the way. 2 years on my own, with just me and my cat. Ooh. There she is, the lovely Ronnie. However, when lockdown ended, I realised I'd forgotten how to smile and meowed when I was hungry. I know what some of you are thinking, and the answer is no. If I could mimic that, I wouldn't be here. I could make it Etiquette books were probably my first neurodiverse life hack. As a child, I was fascinated by them. I loved the clearly defined rules they provided, though it is worth noting not all etiquette rules age well. You may be as surprised and disappointed as me to discover that one has very little need to know the rules of handshake flirting. However, that doesn't stop me from retreating to the safety and comfort of predefined and formal social rules to help me navigate certain situations. A recent example of this is when I went to one of my ex's gigs post-lockdown. My ex was a musician. Yeah, we are going over that. My ex was a musician, so upon our arrival, he immediately made the very unwise decision to leave me unsupervised in a room full of strangers while he went to set up. Panicking, and against my better judgment, I decided to take the initiative, and I boldly approached the group closest to me. Unceremoniously, Eventually, interrupting their conversation, I extended my exceptionally sweaty hand to the person nearest me. Hi, Alice Wilcox, and you're?
Simon.
Simon, it's so lovely to meet you. Alice Wilcox, you're? Sorry, I didn't quite catch. Pamela, it's a pleasure. I continued in this manner, around the group. It was only when I reached the fourth or fifth person I began to sense I might have slightly misjudged my approach. But my autistic brain went, you can't stop now. Everyone's seen you do handshakes. If you stop, the people who haven't had a handshake will think you're rude. So I carried on, making my way around the entire room. More and more people kept arriving, and I just kept shaking. I shit you not, I did not stop shaking hands until the band started, almost an hour later. I called my sister after and told her about my handshake marathon. You did what? At a gig? Whilst processing her abject horror and glee at discovering a whole new depth to her older sister's uncoolness, and in between cackles, she managed to ask if I remembered my name tag, which of course I hadn't. I thought that much was obvious. There are some situations though that I don't have a life hack for, not even a bad one. The first example of this is office small talk. Ooh, not much luck with these. There we go. Oh dear. Oh, no, I've gone too far. Ooh. There we go. Feel like someone's about to get me into it. There we go. Lovely. The first example of this is office small talk, which is some top-tier neurotypical fuckery. You get employed to do a job where you believe you're working in a system of meritocracy, but actually you won't get promoted unless you remember to ask how your boss's son's 5th birthday was, or comment on Sandra's new haircut in finance. Middle managers are the equivalent to the ultimate boss in a video game, but instead of just one in a basement, you have to defeat an entire office floor of them. Their only weaknesses: baked goods and workplace banter. Sorry, Alice. We promoted Louise instead. Yeah, we know she doesn't do any work, but she brings in the most delicious homemade gluten-free banana bread. She brings it on Wednesday. Did you know she adds cinnamon? Fuck Louise and fuck gluten-free banana bread. I wouldn't mind so much if I'd been usurped by a classic chocolate gâteau. Here we go. But a gluten-free banana bread, I'm better than that. Work social events, another bad one for me. Give the slide time to load. There we go. Another one bad for me is they involve some complex Excel formulas to merge the work professionalism tab and the fun social tab. So you want those pictures to go, really. There we go. So Alice, any holiday plans this year? Well, I quite fancy a weekend break to Spain. I plan on utilising my flexible organisational skills to schedule a mixture of fun activities alongside visits to notable sites of culture. Of course, I'll be packing the factor 50. Health and safety is everyone's responsibility. The second neurotypical rule I struggle with is compliments. I'll do it a second again. Don't get me wrong, I love a compliment. What I don't like are the complex and unspoken rules in which one must engage when either giving or receiving a compliment. My ability to deliver a compliment leaves a lot to be desired. Firstly, I have to pre-plan them. As depicted here, this is not a rock-solid strategy. It's true, these things happen to me. Even more baffling than the rules around giving a compliment are the ones around receiving them. Firstly, oh no, sorry guys, we skipped that. There we go. Sometimes I'll add a compliment quota to my Excel checklist. Important I discovered that you shouldn't select one recipient for your entire quota. Nice shoes, lovely hair, you smell great today. Bonus advice, best to avoid actively sniffing someone when complimenting their fragrance. You will definitely give off creepy serial killer vibes, or look like a 13-year-old huffing Sharpies. I don't think I'm kidding. I don't know what that looks like. I tapped out scratch and sniff gel pens. As a general rule, I now don't give compliments, which means if you do get one from me, however disingenuous and rehearsed it sounds, you can rest assured I've worked really hard to make it sound like that. Even more baffling than the rules around giving a compliment are the ones around receiving them. Firstly, I must refuse the compliment. Then I'm supposed to inform the compliment giver why they were wrong to give me the compliment. I then return the compliment by identifying something I like better about them. They will then also refuse the compliment, rendering the whole exchange the most pointless waste of time ever conceived. I have been unwittingly dismantling this rule in my own autistic way. It's not complicated or particularly clever. However, I would argue it can be considered an ultimate life hack, which I shall now demonstrate with your assistance. Who are we going to pick here? Let's go one. So it will be uncomfortable at first. You will be scolded and potentially shunned, but your self-esteem will increase, and you can be satisfied in the knowledge that you are correcting a batshit social expectation. So who do I give card number 1 to? Fantastic. So if you could just read that one for me.
You're so good at organising. Would you...
Thanks, I know. The key to this one is identifying and intercepting a compliment request early. Time it correctly and you destroy the illusion of a compliment, forcing the other person to make an outright request for your assistance. This is often too awkward and they won't proceed. You would have won. Card number 2. Okay.
You're so charming when you make an effort.
Thanks, I know. Remove the power of a backhanded compliment by pretending you didn't understand its true intention. You've now successfully put the ball back in their court. What are they going to do? Explain you didn't get it and out themselves an arsehole? I don't think so. To add further confusion, they are now left wondering if they did in fact just give you a genuine compliment by mistake. Who's got card number 3? Is that you? Okay, now this one's very important, so I need you to say that you really mean it. So if you need to take a moment, that's okay. Okay? So, when you're ready. You're an incredible lover. You should never dispute an outright compliment. Firstly, because they will remember you agreed with them, and people don't like to be wrong, so they will just continue to believe it's true. And secondly, in this scenario, they may even feel obliged to try harder next time. Who's got card number 4? Lovely.
You look great today, and your perspective on life is so refreshing.
Thanks, I know. Why? Because you can't disagree with facts. People incorrectly assume compliments are opinions and therefore fallible. This is a mistake. All compliments are to be considered facts. Right here, there we go. Card number 5, that must be on the second row. Here we go.
You are breathtakingly beautiful and funny.
Thanks, I know. Because you can't disagree with facts. And if anyone flirting with you gets weird about you accepting a compliment, I have learned it's a sign you should not partake in intercourse with that individual, or proceed to dating, depending on which way around you like to do things. So I hope that you shall now go forth and do your bit to right this neurotypical wrong. Try it out. See how it makes you feel. Revel in your unapologetic awesomeness, as I shall do now, saving you all the anxiety of whether to compliment me later. I've been amazing. Thank you.